I can't do it. We'll do it live.
Okay.
Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Good morning.
It's time to wake up.
This is Snowman in the Morning on the Arena Sports Network.
Did you not get the memo? Let's get busy.
I'm glad I finally got on because I was spewing out some very, very bad words because I kind of messed some things up. Anywho, that's not the greeting I wanted to use. The greeting I want to use is this one. Good morning! Off to the races we go on this Monday, and we welcome you. Ow, that hurts. We welcome you to Snowman in the Morning, presented by Fusion Ions Bands. Fusion Ions, live your best. And also by Slugmaster, baseball and softball hitting and training aids. Slugmaster, turning batters into hitters. You ever have one of those kind of days? I mean, I got everything set up here in the studio. I was an hour ahead of schedule. Then I got to watching some old baseball clips, and then I got distracted talking to Jeff, and I lost track of time. My own fault. We're a couple minutes behind, but we are on. Rusty Silver will join me in a couple of minutes. And where's my schedule? There it is. Jeff Escal will join me at basically 15 after the hour. We'll talk some college basketball. I got a surprise segment with him that I'm going to surprise him with. Got an announcement coming right after the first break. If you listened to the ASN Scoreboard show last night, you heard it. I will repeat it. Talk Jason Collins, as he was signed by the New Jersey Nets to a 10-day contract. Talk about its impact. Of course, the Gigahertz question of the day and a debut of the Monday Conversation, a little bite up the Sunday Conversation with, of course, ESPN. I'm going to give this a different title. I'm definitely going to give this a different title. So if y'all have a suggestion of what I can do, of what title I need to get for the Monday Conversation, tweet it to me at Snow Morning Show. Find us on Facebook, facebook.com/snowmaninthemorning and /Arena Sports Network. Tweet us at Snow Morning Show and at Arena Sports 13. We welcome your tweets. We welcome your thoughts as always. Phew! Now that I got all that out of the way, Rusty Silver's coming in 60 seconds. And, you know, I for the most part, I had a good weekend. Oh, I got a good friend listening in. His name is Nick Dowd. I call him Sir Dowd. He and I have done some work together. He led the Porter County Storm, and I called a couple of his games. So, Nick Dowd, thank you for tuning in. Thank you to all the fans that have tuned in not just over the course of time, but also that tune in this morning. I sent an invite out this morning on Facebook, and a lot of people caught it, and they are tuning in, and I hear music in the background, which means only one thing. I have not heard this gentleman all weekend, so he's going to grace us right now via the Gigahertz hotline. It's time for the morning wrap-up. Here's Rusty. Good morning.
Good morning, Brian. What a weekend it was, a long weekend and a busy one, and we're back here on Monday morning. That's the main thing.
Did you get enough stuff done?
Oh, I got enough stuff, and I had more drive time than I had write time, sounds like. So
I understand completely. I'm going to go through that later this week. What you got for us in the wrap this morning, Rusty?
Well, morning, Brian, everybody. Welcome to Monday after the weekend for some long, but for others just getting going for this another start to a long week. Rusty's morning wrap-up presented by TCF Bank, the official bank of the Arena Sports Network. Bulls were riding a 5-game winning streak, but had a snap by the Heat, 93-79 in Miami. The Bulls had some scoring droughts in the game and had a 12-point third quarter that definitely left their sore spot. Jimmy Butler missed the game with a sore ribs, and you thought the Bulls had a great chance because the Heat were missing LeBron James because he was out with a broken nose. Joakim Noah led the Bulls with 20 points, 15 rebounds. The Bulls will next play the Hawks in Atlanta coming up tomorrow night. College basketball, 20th-ranked Michigan topped 13th-ranked Michigan State 79-70 for the Big Ten lead. Northern Illinois lost to Central Michigan 70-67, and Illinois State fell to Northern Iowa 72-59. One game coming up this evening, which finally, one of our Illinois teams will win. Chicago State visits Eastern Illinois.
Okay.
Winter Olympics, Sochi, Russia, came to a close on Sunday. Russia won the overall medal count with 33. USA was second with 28, and Norway third with 26. Canada won its second straight men's hockey gold medal as they beat Sweden 3-0 on Sunday. A couple days after they shut out the United States 1-0. USA lost to Finland 5-0 in a bronze medal game on Saturday. The next Olympics that is, will be in Rio, Brazil in the summer of 2016. The next Winter Olympics in South Korea 2018. And looks like the NHL thinking about not having its players play in the Winter Olympics coming up in 4 years. Hockey returns to the NHL tomorrow night. Blackhawks return to the ice after the Olympic break Thursday evening, taking on the Rangers in New York. And don't forget, Saturday night, the Blackhawks will be taking on
Stadium
Pittsburgh Penguins
Series.
at Soldier Field.
Man, I can't wait for that one.
Cactus League Baseball. Exhibition games get going in the next couple of days. Cubs host the Diamondbacks in their new spring training ballpark on Thursday, and the White Sox will open up Friday, taking on the L.A. Dodgers. Auto racing, NASCAR opened its season with the Daytona 500, but they dealt with rain and a 6.5-hour delay.
Yow.
So it was nicer night racing at the Daytona Speedway. Dale Earnhardt Jr. turned out to be the winner. Golf, the Essential Match Play in Mariana, Arizona. Jason Day beat Victor DeBosin in 23 holes. There were some outstanding shots in that final round there. Luckily, Day came up with a birdie to win the championship. Soccer, Chicago Fire made its 6th straight preseason victories, 2-0 victory over FC Tucson. High school sports over the weekend, the Public League High School Basketball Championship. Curry beat Young in 4 overtimes on Friday night. I think it was, at Chicago State University? But
yes.
As of last night, there's some controversy over a player on Curry that might not have been eligible to play.
Oh, no, not this again.
Keep an eye on this. Congratulations to Wabanzi Valley, rolling to back-to-back state championships in girls bowling, and
Nice.
Lions also went back-to-back in girls gymnastics.
Nice.
And congratulations to all those state champion wrestlers that were crowned over the weekend at the Assembly Hall in Champaign
Indeed.
on Saturday night. And lastly, Brian, baseball's new guidelines regarding home plate collisions will be released today. Expect the plate collision rule will try to curb the intentional contact there.
What if you want to run somebody over at the plate?
Not anymore.
Not anymore?
It's gotten out of hand. Come on.
Right.
It's gotten out of hand. There's just no padding. It's not going to save the catcher.
Forget the padding.
But it's still not feasible to have it.
Okay.
It's probably how many years too late? Let's go back to 1975. Come on.
All right. You want to go there? How about 1970 in the All-Star game?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Just so many years too late. Rusty Silver for the Arena Sports Network. Don't forget to visit TCF Bank for more information.
Thank you, partner. Appreciate it. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right. Have a good day.
He always gives me something that gets me laughing before the first break. Doggone you, Rusty. That's why I love having you on. Jeff Escow will join me after the break to talk some college hoops and a surprise subject that even he don't know about. Introduce.
Some statistics are surprising, some are unbelievable, and some are simply unacceptable. Right now, nearly 30% of U.S. students aren't finishing high school. Nearly 30%. And that's the average. In many places, it's even higher than that. And fixing it is a responsibility that we all share. This is President Obama, and I urge everyone, not just parents, but friends and neighbors and family members, to take responsibility for encouraging the high school students in your communities, to support them, challenge them, push them a little, and do whatever it takes to help them make it through. because this is one statistic we simply can't afford to ignore.
You can do your part by going to boostup.org and sending an email, a text message, or even a wake-up call to a student at risk of dropping out. Go to boostup.org and provide the boost that's needed to make it to graduation. A message from the U.S. Army and the Ad Council.
iGo Car Sharing, dedicated to creating a robust and seamlessly integrated transportation system that's ubiquitous, convenient, and affordable for individuals, and provides the region with expanded economic development opportunities and exemplary environmental performance. Since its inception in 2002, iGo has worked to catalyze a set of transportation innovations that make it feasible and desirable for Chicago residents to get around conveniently and economically without having to own a car, and at the same time reduce vehicle miles traveled and greenhouse gas emissions. A mobility system that is independent of private car ownership requires solutions that use resources efficiently, saves residents money, and decreases the individual and regional ecological footprint. It allows residents to easily choose between multiple modes of transportation to move from point to point quickly, inexpensively, and conveniently. Innovative information technology can integrate both trip planning and service payment across all types of transit, including rail transit, commuter rail, local bus, bus rapid transit, and more. Visit us online at igocars.org and find a location nearest you. iGo Cars, Chicago's only hometown nonprofit car sharing company.
Let's go. Hey, Josh, wake the bleep up. Wake up, I said. $7:14 Central Time, 14 after the hour. Wherever you are, we welcome you back to Snowman in the Morning here on the Arena Sports Network. Go to the arenasportsnetwork.com/SITM and follow us on the show page. And I'm not going to repeat what Josh just put in the chat. Register through Spreaker if you want to join us. If you want to join us on the chat. And we thank you all for doing so. My super producer, Josh Lopez, who helped out last night with the scoreboard show. Jeff Escal, who will join me in about 30 seconds from now. Let me say hi to I got a buddy, Nick Dowd, who's a big-time Michigan State fan. I got Jeff Escal on the line. Let me say hi to him. Jeff, you with me?
Yeah, I am. How you doing, Brian?
I'm doing great, my friend. Everything's lit up already. My friend Nick Dowd out in Northwest Indiana says, no need to talk about the Michigan State game from yesterday. Just FYI, he's a big-time Michigan State fan. But we're probably going to wind up talking about it anyway. But we'll see.
Michigan's got their number this year, don't they?
Yeah, they swept the series. They swept the series.
Yeah.
Jeff Escal with me, talking a little college basketball. And I got the ultimate underdog national championship. It's better than what Butler went through. It's Wichita. For me, the underdog national championship this year, based on the rankings, would be Wichita State and San Diego State.
I knew you were going to say that. San Diego State lost Saturday night.
To whom?
New Mexico.
What?
Actually got annihilated.
Annihilated? Ooh.
Yeah.
No wonder you're down this morning. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, at one point they were down by 20. San Diego State.
Ouch.
Yeah, they lost 58-44.
Was it in New Mexico or was it in?
Yes, it was in New Mexico, and that's one of the hardest buildings to play in.
The Pit in Albuquerque.
Yeah.
The voice you hear is Jeff Escal of Sports World Radio. You can hear him 5 times a week. We're talking some college basketball. I was going to bring him in last week, but we got on such a roll with so many other things, so we're going to have this. We're going to have this conversation right now. I'm going to get Josh on the air with me tomorrow, and I got a reason I'm waiting until tomorrow to bring him in. Some folks are still coming in. My buddy Charles Fowler down in Georgia, Brian Payon down in Florida tuning us in. All right. We talked about this before, Jeff. Why is no one paying attention? New Mexico lost notwithstanding, why is no one paying attention to San Diego State? I mean,
because they're on the West Coast.
Yeah,
it's that simple. And even without that loss, in fact, the only time they pay attention to San Diego State is when they lose, because they're in the top 10. They're number 6.
Well, they're waiting.
I never hear anything about them winning. Only when they lose.
Are they waiting for them to fall?
I think so.
You think everybody's waiting for them to fall?
I think so. I was actually looking over the schedules because they're going to be coming out with the new rankings Monday this morning, and I was actually looking at it, and I was trying to figure out which team is going to be the number 1, and they're saying Arizona, Wichita, or Florida. Well, I was looking at Wichita State's schedule.
Mm-hmm.
They'd never played a ranked team all year long.
And they're undefeated.
They're in the Valley State
Missouri,
something or other.
Missouri Valley Conference.
Yeah, the Missouri, great conference that is.
A conference I happen to know very well because a local team, Loyola, is still in it. You know,
Missouri Valley. Yeah, because I used to live in Missouri.
I went to school in Missouri for a year.
Yeah, I used to do my radio show on KCXL radio.
Okay, what part of Missouri?
Kansas City.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I was right in the middle.
In Liberty.
Listen, I was right in the middle. I was in a little small town called Kirksville, Missouri, in which you have a triangle of cities, St. Louis, Kansas City, and Columbia surrounding it. So every weekend when we had a chance to escape, we did. Jeff Escott from Sports World Radio joining me talking some college hoops. What about Syracuse going down to Duke? First of all, let me pose this to you. Do you think that was a block or a charge on the big play?
First time I saw it, I thought it was a block.
Okay.
And I watched it again, and I thought it was a charge. But according to the new rule, it's supposed to be called a block, correct?
Yeah, according to the new rule, but I thought that was a charge either way. New rule or no new rule.
Well, the other play happened a little while ago, and they called it a charge. This time they called it a block. You got to be consistent.
And they haven't been with this rule all year.
That's the problem right there.
That's the problem. They have not been consistent with this rule all year because it's not just that game that's been decided. It's been quite a few games that have been decided because of that rule. So you're going to change it to make the game better, and yet there have still been a handful of games, that one being one at Cameron Indoor Stadium, that have been decided because of a call that has been inconsistent all season.
And I love what Jim Boeheim did.
He snapped.
Love it.
He needed
when was the
to.
last time you seen him snap like that?
I haven't. That's the thing. I haven't.
Exactly. And he's one of the best coaches in the world, and he's never snapped before like that. And all of a sudden, come on, there's something. And you can see him mouthing to the referee.
Oh, yeah.
New rule. You can see it.
Yeah. You can. And you know what? Like you said, you've never seen Jim Boeheim go off. You've never seen him go off. I believe he had a reason to absolutely go off the hinge with that call, because you don't let a call like that decide what is a huge game for both teams in the ACC. Weird I'm saying that about Syracuse.
I know, but very weird.
Be that as it may, you don't let a call like that decide a game in the ACC when two teams that are going at each other for the first time in history, second time this year. They met earlier this month.
First time in Cameron.
Yeah, first time at Cameron Indoor Stadium. Yep. So first time they had a chance to experience the Cameron Crazies. Ron Murchison joining us this morning. Good morning. And the first time, and you have that happen? Come on. There's got to be, if they can use the replay rule for that, if they can use the replay rule for anything else, they certainly could have gone to the monitor to check that. I know what the new rule says, but get it right and let the kids decide the game.
Yes, I totally agree with you.
Let the kids decide the game. And again, you know what, Jeff? We talked about this before, and Josh has a comment that supercharging foul should not be allowed, period. And I agree with that. See, here's one thing about basketball, period, that has really upset me, and it's the fact that they have now had to include this little semicircle under the hoop that allows the referees to see whether it's a block or a charge. Back in the day, You never had that. The referees were trained and trained and trained again to determine whether it's a block or a charge, no matter what part of the paint the play occurs in. Looking at that play last night, I did not initially think it was a block. I thought charge all the way. Okay? And it's just sad that kind of play decides the game.
Yes, I totally agree with you. I was shocked when they called it an offensive foul. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't freaking believe it. The guy, unbelievable. The guy was still moving because I looked at it and I looked at it and I looked at it and he was still moving. And according to the new rule, it's supposed to be a block. Well, referees, don't you know the new rule? Be consistent, please.
You know what? Jim Boeheim was saying the same thing. Boeheim was saying the same thing, okay? And it's terrible that game was decided on that play. You should not have a game. And we see this in the tournament all the time. We see this when March Madness gets here, and you've seen it, Jeff. We see plays like that decide games instead of letting the kids decide the games. We see it all the time.
Yes, we do. Yeah, and it's getting a little monotonous.
It's getting a lot monotonous. You know, with that, oof.
No, I agree. Sorry. It's getting a little crazy, man.
People have heard me go off before on things that are deserving of that, and this is one of them. All right? I have always believed in college athletics, in amateur athletics, period, college or high school, you let the kids decide the game. You don't let a call like that decide the game. And because of that, Syracuse is going to take a dip in the rankings. Duke is probably going to move up in the rankings because of a call they should not have gotten. Mm-hmm. And there's going to be some shuffling in the top 10. A lot of shuffling in the top 10. Here's another thing that gets on my nerves. Wichita State is undefeated, yes. You got a team like San Diego State that's playing out of their mind right now. And admittedly being somewhat of an Arizona fan because of Mike Bibby and Sean Elliott back in the past, you're going to have teams that need to sniff the top 5 but won't get there because the pollsters, and I've talked to my buddy Kevin Horan about this, and I hope to have him on later in the week, you're going to have some teams that will sniff the top 10 that have no business sniffing the top 10 because a couple of the top teams lost. That ranking system has been unfair for as long as I've known it, and the merit has been terrible, and it's probably going to take another hit this week.
Well, the ranking system, as far as I understand, is pretty much determined on the schedule, right?
So I've heard.
Yeah, well, if that's the case, then Wichita State and, San Diego State shouldn't be in the top 10.
Well, they are the top 10.
And I'm going to Wichita State has not played a ranked team all season.
Right.
San Diego State has played 2 ranked teams, beat one of them, and lost to the other.
I think the one they beat was Kansas.
Yes, and the one they lost to was Arizona. Yes, in Lawrence, and the one they lost to was Arizona.
Well, when you play teams like that you know are going to give you a challenge, Kansas and Arizona, you deserve to be in the top 5. Period, point blank, end of discussion. All right? And San Diego lost to New Mexico. It's a conference game. Mm-hmm. New Mexico is one of the rulers of the roost in the conference. San Diego's coming for them. Okay? So you take that kind of game into consideration. The fact that Wichita State is 29-0 is automatic consideration according to the pollsters of where they place. But what's going to determine things, I believe, for Wichita State is how they do in the Missouri Valley Conference tournament and also how they do in the national tournament. Now, let me ask you this question. Do you believe right now, let's look at things right now, do you believe that Wichita State is deserving of a number 1 seed?
No.
And
I'm looking at Missouri Valley Conference right now.
Okay.
Indiana State, Missouri State, Illinois State, Northern Iowa, Southern Illinois, Bradley, Drake, Evansville, and Loyola Chicago. Wow.
Yeah.
And they play, correct me if I'm wrong, they play each team twice, right?
Yeah, they play everybody twice. Gary James Scott from near London is in with us, so
That's my buddy.
Yeah, good. Good morning, James. Thank you for good morning,
And he wasn't saying dumbass to you. He was saying dumbass to me.
I didn't realize that. I apologize. We got to straighten out. He is in with us. But who do you think right now are your number one seeds?
Florida. Florida's going to be number one.
Okay.
And I would move Wichita State up to number 2.
Okay.
And then you put Arizona at number 3, and you put Syracuse. Because Syracuse lost twice this week.
Right.
Once to Boston College in Syracuse. Hello?
Yeah. You don't. Okay, so, and this is Jim Boeheim. You don't beat Syracuse at Syracuse.
Correct.
All right.
Correct. I see San Diego State probably going all the way down to 9 or 10, which is going to upset me. And I wouldn't be so shocked if they're out of the top 10.
Let me ask,
because they get no love.
Let me pose this to the folks, and we want your comments on this. Who do you think are the top 4 seeds in the tournament right now? Tweet your answer to @SnowMorningShow or post it on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Snowman in the Morning. Jeff Escow of Sports World Radio joining me. A great conversation as always. My top 4 right now, which it's tough, but I can't
put Wichita State there because they played nobody.
I can give you two of my 4 right now. My top 4 seeds, my four number 1 seeds in the tournament. One of them is Arizona, and the other is Syracuse. The other 2 will be determined later on during the season. I know I'm going to get posed this question again, and I know I'm going to ask this question again. But Arizona and Syracuse would be two of my number 1 seeds in the tournament if the tournament were to begin right now. And of course, we got about 3 weeks before the tournament begins, so a lot can change within that time. Who would be your 4 number 1 seeds, Jeff?
I'd probably go with Syracuse, Florida.
2.
Probably, because it's going to change, I would probably say Duke and maybe Arizona. And I hate to say that because I like to see San Diego State be there, but with that loss that just happened.
Yeah.
And with them playing New Mexico in the last game of the year for them at home in San Diego, it's going to be a tough one.
And think of how close of a conference. Think of how close of a conference that is. You know, Nick Dow gives me this note: if Keith Appling's wrist heals and Brandon Davison gets healthy, Michigan State has to be one of the scariest teams to see in March. And I agree. And Nick Dow gives me his top 4: Florida, Syracuse, Arizona, and Duke. That's a fearsome foursome to face.
How do you have 2 teams in the top 10? As the top 10 sits right now, with each, Duke is 22-6. Now they're 23-6.
23-6.
And Kansas at 21-6. Now at 22-6.
Popularity.
6 losses.
Popularity.
You know why? I don't think so much popularity. I think strength of schedule. Because those 2 teams right there, they play a whole bunch of really good teams.
They play a difficult schedule.
Yes, I think that's why they're in the top 10.
When you're ranked as one of the top teams in the nation coming into the season and you play a loaded schedule like that, you've earned your way into the top 10 or into the top 25, period. Okay? And that's probably the argument that folks are going to use with Wichita State, as you've mentioned this morning, and with San Diego State as well. Nick Down has
I think
this thought.
San Diego State should still be ranked higher than Kansas because they beat Kansas, and Kansas has got 6 losses and State's only got 3. But it's not going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen. Nick Down has this thought: partly in college basketball is extremely high in big conferences, and he names the top 3: Big Ten, ACC, and the Big 12. Now, let me ask you this question. With the reformation of the Big East, and I hate seeing Syracuse go from the Big East because I remember all the battles there, you think they've taken a hit as far as popularity and as far as, well, let's put strength of schedule in the conversation. Do you think they've taken a hit?
Yes. Yes. They lost tons of good teams, the Big East. Are you kidding me?
And the 2 teams I did not want to see go from the conference are Syracuse and Connecticut.
Syracuse left, Connecticut left, Louisville left.
Louisville's gone. It's taken a hit. It is really taken a hit, and it's the kind of hit that could either make or break a conference. Now,
because last year, correct me if I'm wrong, what did they have, 7 or 8 Big East teams in the NCAA?
8.
8? They're lucky if they get 4 this year.
They lucky if they get. I'm going to be very honest with you right now. Even though it's still tough competition in the Big East, it's not the same Big East as it was in the past when you had everybody jockeying for position and you had 2 divisions. If they get 2 or 3 being a very big stretch, then maybe the Big East will have something to talk about. Snowman in the Morning, presented by TCF Bank, the official bank of the Arena Sports Network. TCF Bank, surprisingly, TCF. Visit tcfbank.com for more information. I promised an announcement at the top of the show, and if you listened to the scoreboard show yesterday, and Jeff, I thank you for tuning in, you heard that we are in the process of putting together the Chicagoland Collegiate Athletic Conference Baseball Game of the Week. And my thanks to Dave Laquetta at University of St. Francis for making that happen. So we got some college baseball here in the Midwest. We're going to have some out west, and we're going to have a whole big college baseball show, an idea that Jeff gave me, and we're going to run with it. We're going to see what happens, and I'm hoping, Jeff, that you can, take a peek at some college baseball out your way in San Diego and bring some reports in. But let's get college baseball the same kind of love that college basketball and college football gets.
Yeah, we got Tony Gwynn's the head coach of the SDSU baseball team.
Yep, so we're really going to put this together. All right, let's have a little fun here. With Jeff being in San Diego and me being here in Chicago, and I know I got folks all around. This is not the question of the day, but we want y'all to participate in this. Jeff, what are some of your favorite places? What are some of your favorite eateries that you have out there in San Diego? I always talk about the ones that I have here in the Chicagoland area. Let me get a West Coast perspective. What's your favorite eateries that you have out there in San Diego?
The one place that I love to go to every year, and I go to it every year on my birthday, it's a Chinese restaurant. It's called 5 Star. It's a Chinese restaurant that serves lobster with black bean sauce.
Ooh.
Delicious.
Ooh, that sounds lethal.
Delicious. I go there every year for my birthday. My dad takes me every year there for my birthday. That's my birthday present. I love it.
Wow.
It's delicious. Yeah. It's delicious. I have a friend of mine that owns a pizza place out here, not too far from the house, so we order a lot from there. He imports his water from New York.
Okay.
To make the pizza better because it's just not the same. Where else? I have a couple of nice another Chinese restaurant down the road from the house that we order from, but they just raised their prices, so we're not going to go there no more.
Well, Nick Dow threw something at me. He said, "How about the team I assisted with having possibly the youngest manager in the nation at Purdue North Central CCAC baseball?" So Nick heard the announcement. Hey, Nick, give me a contact out there, and I'll get him on. And I know he'll do it, but I love covering baseball, so we're going to do a lot of that this spring. All right, there's a couple places, and I mentioned one that I went to during the Super Bowl. It's called Snickers, and Snickers has your basic fanfare, the hot dogs, the hamburgers, but they gave me a loaded gyro, and brother, I thought I'd never make it out of there. And I'm saying that because it was that damn good. It was that good.
Bet. When I was in San Antonio for a weekend, I went to this bar called the Bikini Sports Bar. We went there every day for lunch.
Really?
Yeah, it was great. Waitresses walking around in bikinis, sports on the TV, great food, great beer. The hamburgers there were the best, man.
Really?
That I've ever had. Yeah, that I've ever had.
We may have to make a trip down to the boardwalk and do a show there.
It was fantastic down there. It was one of my favorite joints to go to when I was in San Antonio.
Very nice. There's a couple of other places here in Chicago. One I got invited to but couldn't make it because I was ill. And one of my other places that I love going to is a place called Bar Louie in downtown Chicago. You talk about some of the best burgers, and I talked about this on an earlier show. I got convinced by one of the waitresses to try their their Bar Louie special. It's a quarter-pound burger, and it's got cheese and fried eggs.
Oh, wow. Love that. Gotta love that. That was a blocking foul. See, they just showed the rerun on TV. That's a blocking foul.
Really?
Yeah. It's a blocking foul, no doubt about it. Look at Boeheim going nuts. It's a beautiful thing. Good for you, Jim.
Yeah, thank you, Jim. And that just may be the one thing that would propel Syracuse on a deep run into the tournament. Mm-hmm. That kind of emotion, and people don't realize that kind of emotion could propel teams on a big run in their tournament. Jeff Escow joining me here as we talk some of our favorite eateries as well as some college hoops. And like I said, that Bar Louie burger, my gracious.
Well, not so much of my favorite eateries. I eat home a lot and I cook a lot, so I make some really good food myself. I cook a lot for dinner. I make some really good meals myself. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Josh sent me a message in the. Okay, he's telling me to read it. And let's get the Chicago Rush back in the AFL. Yeah, we should. Shut up, Josh. I just read what he wrote. Took your biology teacher to Hooters? Really?
He's still seeing his biology teacher, huh? Wow. Way to go, Joshy.
Indeed. My gracious.
So we started on that.
We started on that on Valentine's Day, and it hasn't stopped, and it ain't going to stop.
No, I don't think so. Let me ask you this, Brian. Your thoughts on Collins playing the other night for the Nets?
Good for him.
Yeah, me too.
Good for him. I'm going to talk about that later in the show, and I want you to come back when we talk about that. Good for him.
Yeah, me too.
Why should it be? Oh boy, I know I'm gonna go off. You know what? That's actually next. So you know what? I know I had planned this break for later on, but I'm gonna step aside right now. We'll take a quick 60-second break, and then Jeff and I will talk about Jason Collins playing with the Brooklyn Nets, being the first active openly gay player in the 4 major sports. I say good for him. Jeff and I will talk about why. In 60.
My name is Matt Rencars, and I'm the founder of Fusion Ions. We are so confident that you're going to love our bands. We want you to try one risk-free so you can see for yourself how powerful these bands really are. Don't wait. Go to FusionIons.com to find out how you can receive your very own free Fusion Ions band. Take advantage before they are gone. FusionIons.com. That's FusionIonz.com.
Want to get your rankings in the truest form? Want to get the best college news without all the fluff? Then tune in to Swamp's Collegiate Sports Show. Join Kevin the Swamp Rat Horan as he ranks all the collegiate sports, from football to basketball and baseball to cross country, soccer, and so much more. Don't forget to visit www.kevinhoranrankings.com and sign up for his newsletter buzzing across the country. So if you want the best college news and rankings and see how the pros are outsmarted, tune in to Swamp's Collegiate Sports Show. The Swamp Rat ranks them right every Wednesday night at 8 on the Arena Sports Network.
Dish out them power rankings. Gotcha, Josh. Oh, yeah. Rocking out this morning on Snowman in the Morning, 41 beyond the hour. Thank you for joining us wherever you are. And this segment is presented by Gigahertz, the official computer solutions company of the Arena Sports Network. Gigahertz, and that is where we come in. Nick Dowd has an additional thought when we talked to Jim Boeheim. I know a little something about emotion. Yeah, you do, Sir Dowd. I've seen it, and I can say the exact same statement. Jeff Escow joining me, and what we're going to talk about next is something that the people, the mainstream media, are going to twist all the way around and find every reason to talk about it and invoke their negative tones, but I'm going to just simply say this. The news is Jason Collins signed by the Brooklyn Nets to a 10-day contract and played last night as the Nets beat the Lakers 108-102. Now, Jeff asked me a question before the break. He said, Josh said, only I can do that. Well, yeah, I just did, Joshy. Now, someone asked me, Jeff, you just asked me a moment ago what I thought about the Jason Collins deal. Good for him. Good for him and good for the Nets, because all the mainstream media are going to say they're taking a chance on signing it. Shut up, okay? Can he still play basketball? Hell yeah. He's 7 feet tall, and in an area where the NBA is dwindling at the center spot, give him a chance.
What I don't know is why it took him so long to sign with a freaking team.
I don't know. You know why?
That's what really upsets me.
You know why? I can tell you exactly why, and this is me thinking on the court of public opinion. It took so long to sign him because a lot of teams didn't want to take a chance on him, not because of his basketball ability, but because of everything outside of that, which is baloney.
Yeah.
Which is baloney.
I mean, nearly 10 months after he made the announcement?
Yeah.
Come on.
They ousted him.
Yeah, pretty much until they needed him.
You know what? And it's sad that it takes that. It's sad that it takes that for someone like Jason Collins, and later on in April, Michael Sam, because I'm calling it right now, someone's going to give him a shot, and they're going to give him a big shot, okay? Someone's going to give him a chance, and I will be so happy when that happens, okay? Leave the outside stuff on the outside. Can he play basketball? Can he help you in your offense? Can he help you contribute and make your team make a run to the playoffs? If you can answer yes to at least two of those questions, take a chance.
Exactly.
Take a chance. That's how I feel. All right? Because so many times here in society, a lot of people are so afraid to take a chance because of what happened outside of the sport. Don't do that. That's judgmental, and that's wrong. Okay? That is judgmental, and that is wrong. Period. If you're going to take a chance on someone, take a chance on someone because of their ability. Okay? If he doesn't work out because of a lack of ability to play the game, then fine. It's not going to be because of a lack of effort or fear. Okay? And Collins should be familiar with the Nets. He played, 6 years with them.
Yeah, but does he stay after the 10 days?
I think he does.
Because they need him. Brook Lopez is done for the season. He got a broken foot.
You know what? Sign Collins for the rest of the season, folks. Please. All right?
And you want to know something? I'm just happy. I'm really happy that they didn't come out and they're not advertising it like the first African-American gay player in the NBA. I'm so happy they're not doing that.
I'm glad of that, too. They just came out and said, we're signing Jason Collins to a 10-day contract, and that's all. Period.
Right, and all the headlines say first openly gay NBA player. Nothing about his race, and that's beautiful.
Yeah, and I'm glad that's the case.
Right,
there are too many racial overtones and undertones in sports as it is. Too bleeping many, and it needs to quit. Nick Dow gave me this thought. Media circus, i.e. Michael Sam, just like Baltimore Ravens GM said, I have no doubt he can rush the passer. What's going to make the difference is what you guys do to him when addressing the media about Sam. That could be no more true, and it could no more apply in this case with Jason Collins.
Whatever team you know what? If Sam gets in the NFL and whatever team he plays for, and if he comes out here to play for San Diego and I get a chance to interview him, I'm not even going to ask him about him being gay. I'm going to ask him about the football game.
If you interview him, I want that interview played on the show. Period. All right? Ron Murchison has a thought. Being gay hasn't hurt anyone, but it helps bring out the ignorance in people who consider themselves Christians. That is true. Because if you want to look at it from that standpoint, you're taught to accept everybody. race, color, or creed shouldn't even be a question. And yet, those three things, especially when it comes to sports, are deciding factors of teams taking a chance on a player, be it as a rookie or as a veteran. So I'm happy, A, that the Nets took a chance on him, and B, that it was announced that he was the first openly gay player and race was left out of the equation.
Right.
Okay?
I agree with you.
And let me put part C in this. Leave out the fact that he's gay. You're taking a chance on a guy that hasn't played, and you want to help your team. Can he do the basic things? Yeah. Take a chance on him. I'm glad the Nets did.
Now that it's happened, how many other players come out that are in the closet?
I don't know, but I'm waiting for it to happen.
Now it's no big deal, right?
It should not have been a big deal in the first place.
Correct.
It should not have been a big deal in the first place. All right? This kind of thing is a personal preference. All right? Now, if you want to take a chance on somebody, I'll say it again. Because of their ability, then fine. If you're taking a chance on somebody just because you think you're being nice to them, no, don't do that. Because you're hurting their you're hurting their soul if you do that. You're hurting their ego as well, because they are thinking that they're going to get a chance because of the way they play the sport. What some of these idiots think, that they're going to take a chance on him because of his preferences. Don't do that. It's not right. And I'm glad that the Nets handled this the right way. And I'm also thinking they're going to sign Jason Collins for the remainder of the season.
Well, they would have to, because if they're bringing him in for 10 days and they don't have any other big men, then they're going to have to.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, Brook Lopez gone for the season.
Yeah, so they're going to have to.
Yeah.
And it would be great to see.
It would be great to see. It would be great to see. It was great to see him in the uniform last night. It was great to see him beat the Lakers. Okay?
Yeah, it was kind of nice.
It was nice. It was nice to see
and
him beat the Lakers.
I liked he got knocked down to the floor and 3 Nets ran over there and picked him up, helped him up.
Yep.
Yeah, and then I read the article, and in the article, for some reason, I don't know why the gentleman mentioned it, but he said in the article, I'm not going to quote it, but he says, Collins took a shower with the rest of the gang and nothing happened. Nothing was said. Nothing was happening. He took the shower, went and went about his business. Nobody said nothing. That's the way it should be.
It should be like that. It should have been like that the whole time. It should remain like that.
Exactly.
It should remain like that. You know, and again, I'm glad they took a chance on him. And I hope they sign Jason Collins for the rest of the season. And I hope Michael Sam is drafted in the first round, and whomever drafts him looks at his ability and not anything outside.
Well, I'm kind of hoping he gets drafted in the second round. I'd like to see him be a Charger. Chargers could use him.
What do you think, outside linebacker?
Yes. Chargers could use him. They got some old outside linebackers. They need a young one who can run the rush. Get him in there.
They need a pass rush.
Yes, exactly. Bring his butt in there.
They need a pass rush.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they have Manti Te'o, but he had a pretty good season, though, even though he played on a broken foot most of the year.
Well, I think Sam may just make him better.
Yeah, I would love to see him come out here and say, this is a great place for him, actually. Place for him.
Sam just may make him better. I'm going to keep Jeff until the end of the first hour. Then I got Corbett Thompson coming for our Monday conversation to kick off the second hour. It's now time for our Gigahertz question of the day, brought to you by Gigahertz, the official computer solutions company of the Arena Sports Network. Gigahertz, and that's where we come in. Visit gigahertzpc.net for more information. Saw a story, and it prompted a question. Saw this Saturday. The question of the day is this. Whom do you want to see which NBA star do you want to see star in Space Jam 2? And y'all know where I'm going with this. And I'm going to talk about the story later on in the show. But which NBA star would you like to see do Space Jam 2? Because, you know, Michael Jordan tore it up with the original Space Jam and the Looney Tunes.
Are they doing another one?
From what I'm being told, yeah.
Or is this just your imagination?
No. I would just say it's a rumor right now, but I've had several sources tell me that it is going to happen.
Okay, so it can only be one of 3 players, right? One of 4 players possibly, and that's about it, right?
Yeah.
Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and who else?
Well, LeBron is who they are selecting.
They should select Kobe.
Kobe?
He's got nothing to do. He's hurt. He can do it right now.
Okay, how about this? Why don't they do a Space Jam for football? Who would do that? Who would be good doing that?
You can't get Peyton to do it. He's too old.
No.
You have to get one of the younger quarterbacks. It has to be a quarterback or a running back, right?
Okay, how about either Russell Wilson or Adrian Peterson?
I'm fine with Adrian Peterson, actually.
That's our question of the day. Which NBA star would you like to see in Space Jam 2? Find us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Snowman in the Morning and /Arena Sports Network, and give us your response. I'm waiting for the.
Hey, you know what, BP? I 15 yards for saying the N-word in football now. What the heck is the NFL doing?
Taking the fun out of the game.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Taking the fun out of the game.
Unbelievable.
You know what, BP? Thanks for bringing this up. Y'all heard the Giggers question of the day. Let me finish with Jeff with this. Why is the NFL instituting all of these rules? You know what? This is Roger Goodell. Okay?
Because they want to be politically correct. They want to be PT. PC, I mean. I'm sorry. They want to be PC.
Why? It shouldn't be PC right now. Period.
Unbelievable.
You know what?
It's starting to annoy me.
It's starting to annoy you. It's been annoying me for a while. When Pete Rozelle stepped down as commissioner, you know what? That's when part of the decline of the administration of the NFL began. That's my opinion. All right?
I agree.
When Pete Rozelle stepped down, a lot of things stepped down with him. You know, here's another good question. Are they going to kill the PAT too? I think Goodell's going to find a way to push it through.
Which is going to kill that. They're killing football. You got them taking 10 seconds off the clock in college. You can't say anything on the football field, and they're going to take away the PAT. What in the wild world of sports are they doing to football?
You know what? They're going to say whatever they want to say anyway. All right? Let's just – oh, good point, Ron. Nuts is an N-word. They weren't specific. If you think about it, they weren't specific in what N-word they meant. They weren't specific.
Unbelievable.
It's just a lot of fun being taken out of not just the NFL, but pro sports, period.
And who's the N-word police?
Who actually – you know what? Who would listen to those guys? There would be so many bleeps, it would be incredible. You can't enforce a penalty like that.
Unbelievable.
You could not enforce a penalty like that. And the reason you couldn't, you would have to go through so much tape.
Mm-hmm.
And someone would have to devise a system, an audio system, where it would be caught on tape. All right? Guys are going to talk along the lines anyway.
They're going to talk smack. That's what they do.
You're taking You're taking the fun out of the game. This would be a
why don't you just take the shoulder pads and the helmets off and put flags on everybody?
Right. You know what? I think, Jeff, I'll bring you on tomorrow so we can discuss this even further. So we got our first subject for tomorrow. But they're taking the fun out of the game. All right? They're taking the fun out of the game. And it's not fair to the folks who paid their hard-earned money to see some great football, and in some cases, hear it.
It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
They're going PC on us, and it's crazy.
I think Josh Lopez can add a thought about something going PC because wrestling's long since gone PC. That started in
Josh doesn't know anything about PC. He's doing his Albert teacher.
Oh, Josh is at it again. LaQueen James to ruin my childhood. You know what, Josh? I think he ruined a lot of people's childhoods, okay?
I think he's ruined adulthoods, too.
Yeah, mine included. Okay, Ron has this thought. Instant replay to listen to hear whether it's being said. 7-hour football game. Are you kidding me?
I heard them say that they're going to, because they have microphones all over the football field, that they'll be able to figure out who said it.
No, they won't.
How long is it going to take you to figure out who said it? I got an idea. Instead of doing a 15-yard penalty, just fine them.
That's it.
Just fine them, because it's going to take you hours to figure out who said it anyway. The game's going to be over. What are you going to call everybody back and do a 15-yard penalty?
It'll take you a week to figure it out. Josh, shut up. She taught you PC.
I'm sure she did.
I bet you that's not all she taught you, dagnabbit.
PC, what is that, a computer?
In Josh's case, I don't think that's a computer. We're trying to keep this clean, but Josh won't let us. Doggone you. That's why he's my producer, and that's why I love him. Snowman in the morning, Jeff Escout from Sports World Radio joining me. Before I let you out of here, tell the fans where they can hear you.
Every Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. on the East, 4 p.m. on the West, on sportsworldradio.com or on Spreaker.
And if you haven't heard this show, I will tell you right now,
sports talk on the internet.
Y'all will hear a great show because I listen to it. I love listening to it. I know Jeff has asked me several times.
I'll get you.
When you coming on the show, man? It'll be soon. It'll be soon. My buddy Steve Willis tuned in yesterday from Cheap Seats podcast to the Scoreboard Show, and thanks to all who tuned in to the Scoreboard Show yesterday. We had a grand time. I had a great time with Jeff Escout here this morning. Shut up, Ron.
I don't know how they're going to do it. I really don't know how they're going to do it.
They're not.
Instead of a 15-yard penalty,
fine
them. Fine them.
Fine them, okay? Just have them write a check. You put
just like the
towards
uniform police.
Oh,
that's
God.
ridiculous, too. Don't get me started on that.
Oh, God. You and me both with the uniform police. Are you freaking kidding me?
I know, exactly. You had the wrong color sock on. Get the hell out of here. It's a sock.
I mean, I really believe that these people have been taught to take all the fun out of sports in the 21st century.
And
it's
you know something?
For the
first time in my life, I actually watched some of that combine yesterday.
Really?
On the computer. Because I don't have the NFL Network in the studio. That is the most boringest crap I've ever seen on TV.
And you wonder why I don't watch it in the first place.
Oh my God! I mean, I was up, I was bored. I said, "Oh, the combine's on. I'll go."
That's why y'all have. That's why y'all have pro days. Okay, leave Lucas Oil Stadium alone, please.
Can you imagine sitting in the stadium watching that? I'd be snoring.
You'd be snoring. You'd be snoring. Hey, and Liz knows I snore when I get completely exhausted. Okay, I think if she and I watch the combine, we both be snoring.
If you want to go take a nap, go watch the combine. You fall asleep in 2 minutes.
Okay, if you're going to...
I'm serious, man.
I know you are. That's why I'm laughing.
It's the most boringest thing I've ever seen on my computer, and I've seen a lot of boring things before.
BP has a thought. Find the Dolphins for those uni... You know what? Oh God! Why did we?
That would be the awesome place for Sam to go. Would be the Dolphins.
Really?
Yeah. Lots of luck with that.
Wait. Josh says, "Watch the dump in New England for 30 seconds. You knock out." No. Watch the dump in New England for 30 seconds and you get sick. Forget being knocked out.
Speaking of sick, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling a lot better.
Good.
I'm feeling a lot better. I wasn't last week. I know that.
You sound a lot better.
I was not myself last week. All right. Got to go to a break. Jeb, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. I got Corbett Thompson coming on the line in about 4 minutes.
You bet. Thank you. See everybody at Sports World Radio.
Yes, indeed. I will be tuning in tonight. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it.
You bet. Take care, guys.
That is Jeff Escal, the host of Sports World Radio, and I'm due for a break. But when we come back, I will have Corbett Thompson, and we're going to continue a conversation that started on Friday when I had Tim McKinney on, and it's all about the craziness of high school transfers. It's getting out of control, and this is the man that started the conversation on Facebook. Now we're going to put him to a microphone. Corbett Thompson in the Monday Conversation next on Snowman in the Morning on the Arena Sports Network in a couple.
Gigahertz, providing customers with excellent service since 2008. Computer problem? Leave it to the staff at Gigahertz, priding themselves with an unparalleled work ethic and continuing to offer customers the lowest prices around. Gigahertz services include PC repair, networking, PC setup, custom PC builds, pickup and delivery, in addition to in-home and in-office service. Get small to large business solutions, service contracts, and much more. Computer problems? Gigahertz. And that's where we come in. Gigahertz for your computer repair and solution needs. In-home, in-store, wherever it's convenient for you. Think your PC's infected? Gigahertz offers free virus diagnostics with most virus removals done in 48 hours or less. Plus, they'll optimize your PC. Take that, Best Buy. Give Gigahertz a call. 219-218-9323. That's 219-218-9323. Or log on to gigahertzpc.net. Gigahertz, and that's where we come in.
Can I ask you a couple questions?
Okay.
So, what do you do on Sundays?
I usually try to make it to the gym and play video games.
Go to the zoo, and then you have lunch and nap, and there's some diapers.
Between ballet classes and...
I can totally imagine you doing ballet.
Yeah, well, not me, but taking my two girls to ballet.
Did you know TCF Bank is open Sundays? How would that make life easier?
That would mean a lot.
I do like to have the bank open on Sunday, and that's one of the reasons I use TCF.
I completely agree. It's a bummer when you realize at the end of the week that you have something to take care of and the bank's not open.
Yeah. But TCF Bank is open on Sundays.
I can't believe it.
It's amazing.
That is amazing.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
So you might go and talk to a person on Sunday?
Yeah, I like talking to persons.
You know what? I can tell that about you. TCF Bank is open 7 days, including Sundays. Surprised? Come into the home of free checking and open an account today. For locations and more information, call 1-855-OPEN-TCF or go to tcfbank.com. TCF Bank. Surprisingly convenient. Member FDIC.
Hey everyone, Ed Farmer here. As a closing pitcher for the Sox in 1980, I racked up 30 saves, the Sox record at the time. But thanks to a life-saving kidney transplant in 1991 from my brother Tom, someone else helped save me. Just like my organ donor, you too can give someone a second chance at life. In fact, as a registered organ donor, you can help save the lives of more than 25 people. Be a team player. Register to be an organ and tissue donor at DonateLifeIllinois.org.
Register today to be an organ and tissue donor at DonateLifeIllinois.org.
Everybody up!
It was a beautiful day. Sun beat down. I had the radio on. I was driving. Trees went by. Me and Dell were singing.
5 after the second hour here on Snowman in the Morning. We thank you for joining us. This portion is presented in part by 123dj.com, DJ Supply and Warehouse, located in Chicago and all over the internet, located here at 2201 South Union Avenue. If you're a DJ or you're a sports announcer like yours truly, you need some equipment, go see them. They got some of the best toys available at the best prices. That's 123dj.com, the sponsor of this portion of the show. All right. Now to get down to business, a new subject, a new segment, I should say, that I'm going to introduce, and this was inspired by a conversation that I had with my friend Tim McKinney on Friday. Going to continue it with the person who started this on Facebook on Monday because of a question he posed in Facebook, and it still goes on, and it's still being talked about today. Joining me from New Jersey via the Gigahertz hotline is the owner and proprietor of the King James Radio Network, a great play-by-play voice to listen to and an up-and-coming audio author. His name is Corbett Thompson. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Snow. Thanks for having me. You know, it's scary when you start a trend, especially me, but I appreciate the credit.
It's the truth, man. Just speaking the absolute truth, my friend. Corbett Thompson of the King James Radio Network joins me. All right, let's get down to business. I had this conversation with Tim McKinney on Friday, and you're the one that kind of inspired me to pursue this, and then the story with Home at Flossmoor broke. How crazy is it with all the high school transfers going on early in the season and especially mid-season? It's gotten nuts.
Yes, absolutely. Mid-season, I'll just give you one example here in New Jersey. Young lady by the name of Caitlin Flaherty. She spent her first 2 years at Manasquan, which is a school down by the Jersey Shore there.
All right.
She scored 1,000 points in her first 2 years, so she reached 1,000 as a sophomore. Won a state title with Manasquan, and ultimately junior year decides to transfer to Point Pleasant Beach, still down by the shore, but nonetheless transfers there, and played out her junior year there. And senior, now at the end of junior year, she signs to go to the University of Michigan. So she's got her 4 years of college already set. She's one of the top 25 girls basketball players, high school basketball players in the country. And so, junior year, plays at Point Pleasant Beach. Senior year, in the middle of senior year, decides to transfer to Metuchen. And she transferred out in the first place because something happened with her father at Manasquan. I didn't get the whole story, but those are just some, as Joe Clark would say from Lean On Me, my ubiquitous clandestine informants told me, that one. But no, senior year, she, in the middle of senior year, transfers from Point Pleasant Beach to Metuchen, which Metuchen is, a pretty small school. Not a lot happens around there. They do have a 1,000-point scorer in Cassie Smith, but nonetheless, transfers there, and pretty much any place she goes makes that school an instant contender for, a state sectional title or what have you. And so 3 schools in 4 years. Now, the Metuchen one, she actually has family there. Her father is the boys basketball coach there. Her brother plays on the boys basketball team. So I could at least live with it, but that's just an example of, and I didn't even get to her teammate, Marina Mabry, who transferred along with her from Manasquan to Point Pleasant Beach. But once Flaherty left to go to Metuchen, Mabry transferred back to Manasquan. So, that's a whole nother, I have my own axe to grind with that. But
right.
Needless to say, the point of it being is that, yes, these transfer situations have gotten out of control. And now, like I said, in Flaherty's case, she's got a full ride to Michigan. Here's the irony, though, Mr. Snow. She ended up, when she transferred to Metuchen, she ended up playing all of one game, and then she broke her foot.
Ouch.
And she is now out for the rest of the season. So that's the irony here. Now, whether or not that jeopardizes her 4 years in Michigan remains to be seen. But overall, yes, I was reading an article by Matt Stanmeyer of NJ.com, the Newark Star Ledger here, which is the state newspaper, and he had wrote a couple of articles about transfers, and there's a whole initiative called Choice Schools, which it basically it's designed for educational purposes, not athletics. It doesn't exclude athletics, but it's for educational purposes. But these basketball players in particular are taking advantage of the Choice Schools initiatives. What it allows it allows a selected number of schools, public or what have you, to enroll students that live outside of the city limits. And so it was about 59 last year. It's supposed to go up to over 150 this year. And so it allows, Boundbrook as an example, which is a small school. All 5 of their starters from last year's boys basketball team that won 24 games were all part of the Choice Schools initiatives. Again, supposedly for education, but the sports teams are taking advantage. And so, the NJSIAA tried to put a 30-day wait period on those athletes that transfer to Choice Schools, but they were denied by the New Jersey Department of Education, not once, but twice. So there's a whole dichotomy here. You got people making decisions that know nothing about high school sports, know nothing about high school, athletics and the dynamics of it. And like you said, Mr. Snow, it's going out, basically taking a left turn out the window.
It's been doing that a while, and I mentioned on Friday of an example that I saw happen before my eyes with Marcus Jordan leaving Loyola after 2 years and then transferring to Whitney Young and finishing his career there. At least in that case, he finished his career at one school. But, excuse me, it just highlights how these transfers have gotten, like you said, taken a left turn out of the window. And I understand in some cases where a kid wants to go one place to play and win. I understand that part. But at the same time, why don't these kids put their education first and go to a place that suits them academically as well as athletically?
I think some kids probably don't have the confidence academically, that they feel that they're going to succeed academically and that this is going to be their meal ticket. I'm sure you know as well as I do that a lot of kids and the parents are a part of the deal here too, is they think that athletics is their best ticket out of whatever situation that they're in. And obviously the odds are against that. But I had a middle school parent tell me that his kid was not going to go to the high school in that town, that they were going to try to find, they were already in 7th grade, already talking to one of the private schools that's, I'd say, roughly 10 miles from the middle school and from the town that the middle school is in. And so it's starting earlier, and it's probably going to get worse before it gets better. But to answer your question, I think a lot of these kids just don't have the confidence that they can thrive academically, and so they want to try to use the one gift that they have to get to wherever they want to go.
And it seems that has become the case more often than not, using their athletic talents instead of their academic talents. And you have a point with confidence being an issue, but do you think there are any other issues aside of confidence?
I think the parents, I think you talked about this before. The parents certainly play a large role in this. The kids, they're not engineering this whole thing by themselves. The parents certainly know the rules, and a lot of these parents know how to get around the rules. And so I think that's a lot of what you're seeing. So I do think that to make a long story short, that I think the parents have a lot to do with a lot of these transfers. Now, listen, you have parents that have they got a job in another town and they have to move or
right.
what have you. That happens.
Right, that happens.
So but for the most part, though, these kids, like for example, in New Jersey. And again, this is courtesy of Matt Stanmeyer of NJ.com. He had reported that there were 27 high-profile transfers for boys basketball to start the season. Only 2 of them out of the 27 sat out the 30-day wait period that you have to sit, at the beginning of the year. The other 25. Now, you telling me that 25 kids, didn't change addresses? So, it's like I said, it's a murky situation that the NJSIA has to figure out some way to, put a clamp on and try to control.
And it's not just New Jersey where this is going on. And Tim McKinney said it best on Friday. It happens all over the place. And understandably, when the parents get another job in another county, they have to move. That is totally understood and in some cases excused from that situation as long as the situation is legit. But be that as it may, to piggyback on a point that you said, KT, a lot of kids don't have the confidence and just rely on their athletics, on their athletic ability to get them out of situations, be it a horrible living situation, be it a situation where the kid's parents are going through divorce or what have you. and they want to be put in a position to not only win, but I think this is the back end of that, to get noticed by the big colleges so they can find a way out, so they can land a good scholarship, a big scholarship, or a full ride, as the saying goes, to one of the big schools where they can get noticed and perfect their talent even further. So it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, and Bob Hurley, who is the coach at the St. Anthony's High School in Jersey City, a well-known program, a legendary coach. Actually, he wanted to use you guys are talking about Jason Collins before with the Brooklyn Nets. Well, it's not a Jason Collins story, but it's more of a Brooklyn Nets story. He wanted to use the Brooklyn Nets, the Barclays Center there for one of his games there, but was denied by the NBA, which is a whole other matter. But the point is that he's well known. He's a well-renowned coach, and he was saying that it's basically glorified free agency now with these transfers. And so, even the legendary coaches are speaking out against this type of thing. And it's not just basketball, it's football, it's wrestling, any sport you want to name, any high-profile sport. And, so yeah, it's, and like I said, I can only imagine what it's like in other parts of the country, Florida or Texas or California, the big high school, sports, types of states. So I don't know if if all of the governing bodies in each state, like you have Indiana there, in Illinois as well. So I don't know if they can all get together to form one super group here to try to do something about it, but that might just be what it takes.
Do you think it would, and thank you for just posing my next question, do you think it would come down to one super governing body to put the kibosh on all these transfers and make sure the kids are where they are and where they need to stay?
I want to say yes, but it's so difficult to, I don't know. Let's just to throw out an example. Let's say you have a kid in Alaska, that's transferring from one school to another. Do you want to spend the time and resources to put together a super group to investigate this kid in Alaska that's transferring from one school to another?
Yeah.
So, it's a tricky thing, but I do think something has to, go in that direction along those lines, but it's very tricky to navigate. That's the problem.
Yeah, it's going to be very tricky to navigate if it comes to that. I don't think it will, but something has got to be done to put the kibosh on all these transfers, and just for athletics also. You and I have seen it entirely too many times. It's getting way out of control. We know what happens. It happens a lot. I know it happens a lot here. Corbett Thompson of the King James Radio Network joining me for the Monday Chat. And the Monday Chat this morning is brought to you in part by Subway of downtown Chicago, where Subway reminds you to eat fresh and take advantage of their $3 daily sub offer. Mr. Thompson, thank you very much, my friend. Enjoyed the conversation. Look forward to talking with you again.
Absolutely, Mr. Snow. You guys take it easy.
Thank you very much, KT. Appreciate the time.
You got it.
Corbett Thompson of the King James Radio Network joining me, and it's going to come down, I don't want to say it's going to come down to a super governing body, but it's going to come down to the states getting together, or the state associations getting together to do something to put the kibosh on all these transfers, if not put the kibosh on them, to control them. That's a later question for down the road. A pause for a break, and it's trivia time in a tray.
You do a lot of thinking on a bike about your life, family, your dreams. One of my dreams came to me on a bike, to open up my own shop. So what happens when you complete a dream? Well, you just start thinking of the next.
Visit DrastichAgency.com or call 219-945-3040 and ask Joel Drasich how you can get all of your insurance under one roof.
Hey, everybody, this is Brian Snow, the host of Snowman in the Morning and CEO of the Arena Sports Network, and we thank you for listening to our programming. We want to take this to the next level, but we need your help. So think about becoming a listener partner today. For only $30 a year, you can help us bring the spotlight back to the student athletes and bring more great programming to the Arena Sports Network and to the rest of the country and to the world. For more information, call 312-566-8105 or visit thearenasportsnetwork.com/listener partner today.
Hey, you guys, could I ask you a couple questions?
Okay.
Saving money, what's it like for you?
Well, I'm an artist, so it happens sporadically.
But it does happen?
It does happen, and when it happens, it feels really, really good.
With easier savings at TCF Bank, what would you save for?
Oh, clothes and shoes, housing repairs.
To buy a new car. I'm saving for grad school. And then I'm hoping to just save up, just to have savings, period.
What would make it easier to save money?
Having like a sugar mama.
Which isn't a bad plan, but if you needed a little banking plan or something, what would make it easier?
Something with
An automatic transfer?
Something with an automatic transfer, probably.
So you wouldn't even notice the money?
Automatically transferred.
Automagical.
Automagical, oh my gosh.
How much could you save if saving were actually easy? Open an account at the home of free checking today and find out. For locations and more information, call 1-855-OPEN-TCF or go to tcfbank.com. TCF Bank. Surprisingly simple. Member FDIC.
You gotta keep them separated.
BP, why'd you type that word? Oh, mercy, mercy, mercy. Snowman in the Morning, back at you, 23 beyond the hour, here on the Arena Sports Network. I'll explain why I'm laughing in a minute. Brian Payon, one of my dear friends, typed something in the chat that I'll just read his statement. He said, "You know what a funny word is? Pickle weasel. Is that actually a word?" Oh, man. Oh, thank you, folks, for tuning in. Oh, including BP, Brian Payon, Nick Dowd, my buddy in Northwest Indiana, Crystal Shoebridge joining us. Of course, my super producer, Josh Lopez, Jeff Escal of Sports World Radio, Mike Ventola, the newest voice of the Reading Fighting Phils, joining us as well. And I'm just going to take a peek and see who all has joined us this morning. Rusty Lavender, my good friend that I've worked with before, has joined us. Charles Fowler down in Georgia has joined us. Bob Stokas, thank you. Kenneth Abrams Jr., a good friend of mine from high school, thank you. Who else? Corey Cabalagan out on the left coast, and Professor B, Brian Davis. You'll hear Professor B later this week talking some college baseball. My buddy Nick Strong down in Houston, Texas, joined us as well. Danny Carlino, public address voice extraordinaire, has joined us. Greg Halbeeb, I hope I'm saying that right, has joined us. Kevin Rentner has joined us. We've had some we've had a great time this morning. And we hope. Thank you, Nick. Nick Dowd says good show. Thank you, Nick. I appreciate it. We're trying to get everything better. All right, folks. It's about that time. We always do it during the second half of the show. And wait a minute. I found the wrong thing. Nope, I found it. Now you know what that time is? It's trivia time.
Ah, crap!
Yes, indeed. We pose 5 questions. The folks in the chat room score points, and we find out who is the trivia king or queen for the day. Now, last week, we had a lovely lady win the trivia competition on a tiebreaker. Liz Rorick won last week, so we got all the folks in the chat room. If you're on with us, jump in the chat room and play trivia time along with us. Here are the rules. There are 5 questions. The first 4 are worth 5 points apiece. Decided to up the ante a little bit. And the last one is a triple play because it's worth triple the points. And this morning it is truly a triple play because it requires 3 correct answers. And Josh, no, it was not rigged, Josh. You were just late with a couple of answers. Now, here's the thing I will change. The first one to answer scores. Okay? And it's got to be a correct answer. The first one to answer scores. All right? And do I have it in front of me? Yes, I do. All right. Let's go. Trivia time this morning presented by Gigahertz. And here's the first question. I'm going to pose the question. I'll play the 30-second theme. You already know what it is. And if you can give me, there are 2 answers to this. And I need both answers. First question is, who are the only 2 players to end a World Series with a home run? There, you need to hear the music in the background. 30 seconds, okay? I had the answer Chicago before she said it. Unfortunately, Josh, you were not tied for the lead. But let's see if Josh can score today. First question again. Who are the only 2 players to end a World Series with a home run? If you're on Facebook and you hear the sound of my voice, play along with us. Josh will score over this by Ron, shut up. Just shut up, okay? I'll play this again. Waiting for an answer. Who are the only 2 players to end a World Series with a home run? There are 2 answers, and I need them both. And Ron just scored. There you go. Ron's the first one to score. He got them both, Joe Carter and Bill Mazeroski. Mazeroski in 1960 and Joe Carter in 1993. So Ron Murchison's on the board first. Now, next question also requires 2 answers. Name the 2 players in Major League history who hit, listen carefully, the last 2 World Series slams. World Series Grand Slams. Who were the last 2 to hit World Series slams? So Ron has scored. He got 5 points. And let's see who else will score. I'm on the side tech call. BP's being crazy again. Again, the question. Who hit the last 2 World Series Grand Slams? One of them y'all should know because it was recent history. Oh, and I forgot to play this for Ron for scoring the first correct answers. 2 answers I need for question 2. Who hit the last 2 World Series slams? Grand Slams, that is. And no one's guessed yet. Don't tell me I've stumped you guys. All right, I'm going to have to move on and may have to move on for time purposes here in a moment, but I'm waiting for someone. Tino Martinez. Yep, Josh has scored. Tino Martinez and Paul Konerko. Got them both. So Josh has scored. He has 5 points. 2 questions down, 3 to go. Now try this one. A little bit of NFL football. Which stadium has hosted the most Super Bowls? 30 seconds playing right now. And don't you cheat, Josh. Which stadium has hosted the most Super Bowls? You hear the 30 seconds playing in the background. Let's see if you can come up with the answer. If you're listening along with us, you know what? Send me inbox me. Give me an inbox message. See if you can guess the correct answer. We're on the 3rd question right now. Ron Murchison has 5 points. Josh Lopez has 5 points. Oh, I forgot to play this for Josh. There you go. That Josh scored with the 2nd question. Ron Murchison scored with the 1st. This is the 3rd. And Ron just scored again. Ron got the correct answer first. It is the Superdome in New Orleans. Good going, Josh. He takes the lead. He's got 10. And Josh has 5. And we're down to our 4th question. And the 4th question goes like this. Which 3 players have recorded NBA All-Star Game triple-doubles? You're a little late, Josh. Ron scored first. And as I mentioned during the rules, first one to give me a correct answer scores. So Ron has 10 and Josh has 5. Which 3 players have recorded NBA All-Star Game triple doubles? See if everybody can get this one. And just a reminder to the folks, we got one more thing with the ASN Digest, and then I'll have the message to close the show. Okay, I'll repeat the question again. Which 3 players have recorded NBA All-Star Game triple doubles? That's the question. Now I want to see if anybody can score with this one. Sir Dowd, you got one answer right. You got one answer wrong. He was trying to answer the World Series Slams question. You got one and you missed the other. Let's see. Merch guesses Magic Johnson, LeBron James, Michael Jordan. Wrong. You got 2 of the 3. All right, Merch, you got 2 of the 3. Again, the question, which 3 players have recorded NBA All-Star Game triple doubles? Oscar Robertson, Jason Kidd, Magic Johnson. Wrong on all 3 counts, Joshua. Hey, Brian Payon has just scored. MJ, LeBron, and Dwayne Wade. That's for you, BP. He has scored. So he has 5 points. And now we are down to our triple play. This is triple the points, and anybody can win for the day. And it's Major League Baseball. I'll play this. You'll have the same 30 seconds. And the first one to score wins the game. This is worth 15 points. This is the triple play, and I need all 3 answers. And the question is as follows. Who are the last 3 sluggers to hit 50 home runs in a season? They weren't bad. Well, Josh, they weren't bad guesses. The Big O, J Kidd, and Magic Johnson, they weren't bad guesses. Again, the triple play question to win the game. Who are the last 3 sluggers to hit 50 home runs in a season? I'm going to have to get Nick down. Listen, if y'all want to participate in trivia time with us, jump onto our show page at thearenasportsnetwork.com/SITM and log into the chat or sign up for Spreaker. It's a free account. Log into the chat and play along with us. And, yep, Brian Payon has scored and Brian Payon has won. Because the answers were Prince Fielder, Jose Bautista, and Chris Davis. So Brian Payon finishes with 20. Ron Murchison finishes with 10. And Josh Lopez finishes with 5. And our champion for today, Mr. Brian Payon out of Florida. Oh, yeah! So, BP, thanks. And thanks to everybody that played along with us. I'm going to find a way to integrate the folks that listen on Facebook to get in as well. And for BP,
that's a spicy meatball.
He picks up his first win in our Gigahertz Trivia Challenge. So congratulations, BP, for that. Booyah is his response. Pause for a break. And when we come back, the ASN Digest lets you know what's going on throughout the course of the week. And then one more subject before the journey and the message in a tray.
Need a car in a pinch? Need to get somewhere fast? Don't rent a car, share a car with iGo. iGo provides the convenience and flexibility of having a car without the hassles of owning one. Members have 24-hour access to a fleet of iGo cars in reserved parking spaces all over Chicago and in 4 suburbs. iGo pays for the gas, premium insurance, maintenance, and 24-hour assistance. It's very simple and a great service to take advantage of. All you have to do is pick a plan, reserve a vehicle, and drive off. See? Easy. If you want more info, just visit igocars.org and start sharing today. iGo Cars, Chicago's only hometown nonprofit car sharing company.
How do you turn a batter into a hitter? With Slugmaster Hitting Stations. Slugmaster Hitting Stations are the most effective and durable baseball and softball batting practice devices available. Versatile, compact, and easy to use, they are excellent tools for ball player at any skill level. Attached to any pole or post for an instant hitting station. Use it at the ballpark, at home, or anywhere you want to get some hits in. Work the strike zone, top to bottom, in and out. The most complete workout year-round, indoors or outdoors, teams or individuals. Slugmaster equipment is constructed from high-grade steel. The rugged design means years and years of use. Slugmaster equipment is used by youth, high school, college, and professional ball players. For more information or to place your order, call 708-705-7354 or visit slugmaster.com. Slugmaster Baseball and Softball Hitting Aids, turning batters into hitters.
In Illinois, more than 300,000 students compete in interscholastic programs taking place in classrooms, auditoriums, gymnasiums, city parks, and stadiums. Students with extracurricular activities tend to have higher grade point averages, better attendance, lower dropout rates, and fewer discipline problems. IHSA sponsors 35 programs that enrich the educational experience and shape the lives of young people in a positive way. Support the schools, teachers, coaches, sponsors, and students who take part in activities sponsored by the Illinois High School Association.
Didn't expect this one, did you? .38 beyond the hour here on Snowman in the Morning, and we thank you for joining us. We are presented by Fusion Ions Bands. Fusion Ions, live your best, man. Thanks to all the folks that participated in this morning's trivia challenge. We thank you. We thank you. We absolutely thank you. And thanks to all the folks that have tuned in this morning. Brian Payon scored the win by identifying the correct answers to the triple play question. So he gets the big 15, finishes with 20. Because listen to this music, they may win the World Series. No, they won't. Yeah, if you get the right players to listen to the music. That's all I'll say. ASN Digest goes like this. Only one on the docket this week, and it's Friday, and it's in Elkhart, Indiana, as the Marquette Catholic Blazers, newly crowned Greater South Shore Conference champions, will face off against Elkhart Memorial. That is a 7 o'clock start time, and we will be up at 6:30 with the pregame show as the seniors look to close their regular season on a very high note. We're going to go right into the journey. It's presented by Fusion Ions Bands, and the message this morning, using negatives as positives. And this is something that I have been told all the time. It is so true. When someone gives you a negative word or says something negative about you, yeah, it'll get to you, but it's up to you to it's up to you to determine how long it gets to you. Because you can take it in and turn it into positive energy and use their words against them by having your success prove them wrong. It's the easiest thing to do, and yet the toughest rule to follow. Because we are in a society right now where negative energy seems to be the rule and the norm. And it shouldn't be. It should not be. We should be in a place where we're lifting each other up, not tearing each other down. And yet people are so individualized, and I mean that in a general status, not singling anybody out, just saying what I feel and what I have observed. People have become so individualized, it's not even funny. And the reason that they become so individualized, they're all on this me kick. I've seen it around me for so many times, for so many years rather. And once upon a time I was in that place because I let people get in my head and they gotten me to think, well, I need to do this for me and all that kind of stuff. And all that is true. But don't let it get you to the point where you can't have a positive influence on others. When you have a positive influence on others, that should be payment enough for you, okay? Turn the negatives. Everybody that says something negative about you. Josh Lopez has relayed to me several times about no one expected him to do anything with his life, and no one still expects him to do anything with his life. And yet he's doing it. He's my super producer. Everybody that's come on to the chat with me here in the chat room has relayed a story to me about no one expected them to do anything, and yet they're doing what they expect of themselves. When you expect high of yourself, then nothing that anybody else says outside of your realm can get to you, period. When you have high expectations for yourself, any negative comment, any negative sentence, any negative thing that has been said to you or sent to you is turned into positive fuel. Why? Because you have already conditioned yourself, and sometimes it takes a while, speaking from experience. Sometimes it takes a while to convert all that negative energy into positive energy. Reason being, for a long time, you may have been one of those people that have been picked on, stomped on, or whatever. And it takes you a while to get up. It takes a lot of people a while to get up, myself included. But be that as it may, there were a popular set of Nike commercials, and I think Dwayne Wade wasn't one of them, that said, fall down 7 times, stand up 8. That's the mode that you need to be in. And do something for me today, folks. Be a positive influence on somebody. It could be a friend. It could be a family member. It could be an absolute total stranger. Okay? But we need more positive energy in society. Not just in this city, state, country, and world, but in society. We need some positive energy. We need some positive feedback. Okay? Pass it on. Pass it on, folks. Being positive is the greatest enemy to a person that's trying to bring you down, or to a group of people that's trying to bring you down, or anything that's trying to bring you down. Letting the positive energy emit from you and emit to your friends and your family and to whomever is around you is the greatest single thing that will take the enemy down. Again, I say, be positive to someone today, because you never know who will need it. Even if it's in the form of a silly joke that'll make them laugh, a compliment that'll pick up their spirits. You know, we need some spirit lifting here. We need a lot of spirit lifting. You know, the folks that come on in the chat room every morning lift my spirits, and hopefully I do the same to them and lift their spirits having this show. Let's lift some spirits today, folks. Let's lift some people up. Turn your negatives into positives. And always remember to build your lead. Build your lead, folks. Build your lead. That's my message for today. Turn your negatives into positives. And use those positives to influence someone else. Because you never know who may need a positive word right now. You never know who may need that positive energy. I mean, someone could just be having an absolutely awful day. And one little laugh, one little smile, one little confidence booster of a compliment, I could set them off into a string of endless positive moments where they get going, they get themselves together, they get through the day, and they look forward to the next day. Let's build something positive, folks. Let's go on the right side of the track and build some positive energy with some people around us. This world's too serious for its own good. I've said that so many times. So let's create some smiles. Let's create some positive energy smiles, okay? Be positive today. Turn all the negatives that people throw at you, turn them into positives, use the positive energy, and build your lead. That mind.
That's it, man. Game over, man. Game over.
Oh, man. Wasn't that great, kid?
My thanks to Jeff Escow, Josh Lopez, Brian Payon for assisting today, especially Josh Lopez, my super producer. Thanks to all the folks that have tuned in. You guys are wonderful. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll talk LeBron James and Space Jam. What in the hell are they thinking? A lot. I'll have that. Jeff Escow will join me tomorrow. So will Josh Lopez will join me on the mic to talk all things wrestling. And Josh will join me for the second half of the show. We'll also have the Skinny on Sports with Brian Skinnell. He'll join me as well. Folks, thank you very much. I enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed it too. Be positive to somebody today. I love you all. Have a great day. God bless. And remember to always make your next move your best move. And I will talk to y'all tomorrow. Goodbye. God bless everybody.